Super jacked up right now. Neal Shipley is on the line, the low amateur from this weekend's Masters tournament in Augusta, Georgia. Neal, I know you are a busy man. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today, man.
Of course, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm excited.
It is our pleasure. Before we get into any of the golf stuff, so you're like a really smart guy I'm reading here. What is your college major, and do you think you might be putting that career on hold for a little bit to chase this golf thing you might be good at?
I'm certainly going to be putting that on hold. I got my undergrad in quantitative finance and finished up a master's degree in data analytics and really enjoyed that stuff. But I think playing golf is just a bit more fun.
So what would you be doing if you weren't going to chase the golf thing here? Like, what is quantitative analysis and statistics and all that you just said lead into?
I can't even spell that.
Me neither.
Most of my classmates from undergrad, they're working on Wall Street in New York, and that's probably the path I would have went. But decided to stick to the golf stuff, and it's been working out so far.
So I see as like recently as 2022, you were right on the cusp of like the outside looking in really for the top 1,000 amateurs. So what was your mindset on Thursday morning as you were getting set to tee off? What was your goal for the tournament?
Yeah, well, I mean, my goal for me, going into the tournament, I had never played a PGA Tour event or a major before, so I didn't really know what to expect or how to kind of like, how I should measure myself against all those other guys. So I really went with the mindset of, let's try to have some fun and, also just make sure that, every shot that we hit, that we're just committed to it. And, so that when we're, looking back in 20 years from now, that I knew I wouldn't have left anything on the table.
And then you make the cut, and then it's Saturday, and you finish up, and then you probably find out maybe a little bit later or maybe that Sunday morning, that you're playing with Tiger Woods. Had to have some, just feelings and some angst and just, energy going through your body. What was your feelings whenever you saw that you're paired with the Tiger Woods on Sunday?
Yeah, well, I found out on Saturday evening after my round, probably about an hour and a half afterwards, that it looked like we'd be paired with Tiger, and I was pretty excited. And then then the official pairings came out, so I knew for sure that was with the Tiger. And then I was just super pumped, and I got a little nervous, that he might not, he hadn't played well the day before with his body. I was a little nervous that he might not show up on Sunday, and I saw him there on the range Sunday morning, and I got just really excited. I was like, there's no way this is actually happening.
Neal Shipley joining us here on the Fan Morning Show. So you were worried that Tiger would withdraw, and we've seen that from Tiger before. He did make his 24th cut, his straight cut at the Masters. From what I read, Neal, you and Tiger were the first guys out on Monday at the practice range. Is that true?
Yeah. I think I was out there pretty early on Monday, and Big Cat was out there too. But he usually likes to go pretty early on Monday morning. So I think him and Zalatoris were first off on the back nine, and I was the first guy off on the front nine. So it was a pretty cool morning to kind of see that.
Did you get a chance to talk to him then?
No, I didn't want to bother him. Just don't want to be that 23-year-old kid walking up and be like, "Hey, Tiger, what's up?" Because I'm sure he gets a lot of that. But when we saw him on Sunday, I introduced myself for the first time, and that was really cool.
So, yeah. Did you kind of ease into that then with him on Sunday? Were you kind of feeling him out? Like, how much should I talk to Tiger? Do I just wait until he talks to me after I've introduced myself? What's going through your mind? Because obviously you want to go out there and play a wonderful round of golf, but you're standing there with one of your idols.
Yeah, I introduced myself on the range, and I started to chat with him a little bit, asked him a few questions about himself, and things like that. And, he was it was really cool. We were walking on number 2, and he was, he's more than willing to hold a conversation with me down the whole fairway, which I thought was awesome. You don't see that with every guy out there, and to have Tiger Woods, talking to you about, giving you stories and things from his days in college and stuff like that were awesome.
So he's telling you about Tiger Woods' life. Were you talking game at all? Were you picking his brain?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about golf. We talked about, I think we talked about like Pittsburgh connections with, I think Sean Knapp playing him in the 95 amateur, and other things like that were pretty cool. It was, we talked a little bit about golf. You can tell a lot that he's he's a golf nut. Like we talked about Scotty Scheffler's swing and how wild Scotty's footwork is and other things like that. And it was cool to hear Tiger kind of dissect different guys' swings, and he's so knowledgeable about the game and the golf swing.
At what point, Neal, did you go, oh shoot, I can play a better round today than Tiger? And at what point did that become a goal?
Well, to be fair, I think once we got the pairing, we're like, oh, it'd be so cool if we could beat him, tomorrow, and that was a mini goal. But more than anything, throughout the entire day, I kind of found myself rooting him on. Like I really wanted him to hold out a shot or chip in or do something crazy so that the whole crowd would go wild. Because it'd be just with how many people are around and how many people follow. I mean, it gets loud when anything good happens. So we're kind of rooting him on all day.
So, no, you have this unbelievable experience. You first day, you're 2 under, and then you make it through a Masters and play with Tiger Woods. I mean, you're doing the rounds right now of interviews. You're the talk of, really the country right now. Do you, and your experience, do you feel like you can do this? Do you feel like you can win one of these and get a jacket put on you?
Yeah, I mean, I got a ways to go until that can happen. We got to work on our game a little bit more, but I think I showed throughout the first 2 days of the tournament that my good golf is more than good enough to compete out there on tour. It's just more of a matter of getting a card and getting out there on tour and getting starts. That's kind of, for me, I feel like that's going to be the more difficult part. But it's golf's a tough game, and but I feel like I'm more than ready to get out there and get going.
Neal, you mentioned in some other interviews that you've also had some low moments. Was there ever a time when you thought, man, maybe this golf thing isn't going to work out for me?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely a lot of moments of doubt, especially at the James Madison. I didn't play my best golf there, to be honest. I played a lot of good golf, but it was very up and down. And, we had plenty of tournaments where I played terrible and finished near the bottom of the leaderboard. And so there's certainly a lot of doubt. And, part of my transition going to Ohio State and entering the transfer portal was to try and figure out if I could compete with the best amateurs in the world. And, I found out when I got here that, my game kind of matched up with, our team here, and I was able to make the starting lineup right away. And that gave me a huge boost of confidence. And that's kind of when, I think my mindset around playing professional really turned around. I knew I really wanted to do it after that.
Last couple of things here for Neal Shipley. Your dad was on this weekend with Paul Alexander on the Going Low show we have here on 93.7 The Fan. And he said he's never been a big golf guy. And to me, that was kind of refreshing to hear. So much of the time you hear about dude's family, it was almost overbearing. How did your upbringing affect your interest in the sport?
Yeah, I think, my parents just kind of let me do my own thing. I played baseball in high school as well. I played some basketball growing up too, and was a multi-sport athlete for a long time and didn't really decide I wanted to play college golf until I was in high school. And, I think that really helped me develop a love for the game and, develop my own passion for it. I think you see a lot of kids, young kids that are like 10, 11, and their parents are driving them all over the country for these tournaments and things. And, they can be overbearing and, kids end up falling out of love with the game. And I think that's a shame. And, it's a big problem in youth sports in general from what I've been seeing. So, I think it's a huge for my parents. They always just wanted me to be happy and always wanted me to have fun with what I was doing. And, I'm really appreciative of them for, just letting me, develop, on my own terms.
Last couple of things here for you, Neal. Pittsburghers, they love you. Mount Lebanon guy, a Central Catholic grad. We asked for people to text in some questions, and we'd like to go rapid fire with you here on some Pittsburgh questions. Could you do that for us?
Yeah, sure thing.
All right, what's your favorite local course? No pressure, because now everyone's going to flock there.
Oh, gosh. Local public course would have to be Cranberry Highlands. That place is pretty solid. But, just course in general, Oakmont Country Club's, tough to beat.
Favorite cliched Yinzer thing?
Oh, gosh. That's a great question. I think, I love pierogies. Pierogies are a big Yinzer thing. Yeah, those are got to be my favorite.
Any Pittsburgh heroes growing up?
Arnold Palmer for sure. He's, I guess, Latro, but, definitely Western Pennsylvania guy. I consider him a Pittsburgh guy, and definitely a hero of mine.
Are you a big Pittsburgh sports fan?
Oh yeah, big Steelers guy. I mean, we've had season tickets. My dad's had season tickets since the Three Rivers, and we've had Pirate season tickets for a while. And remember going to the ball games as kids and all that.
Neal, we really appreciate you taking the time, man. Thank you so much. And I got to ask you one more question. I'm sure you got this a million different times. But when you got asked that weird question by the Yahoo guy, I'm calling him weird, not you. That weird question from the Yahoo guy. What are you looking at in the corner there? It's been the buzz of the interwebs. I see you don't have a Twitter account. That's probably a smart thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that interview, I was looking at the. I had never met that reporter before. Most of the other guys out there, and guys and girls out there, I'd seen them or met them before, so I knew who the guy was, and I looked at the moderator, like, who is this guy? Like this, the note thing didn't happen. As much as I'd like to say it did, if Tiger gave me his number, I'd be shouting to the world, "Yeah, I got Tiger's number. How freaking cool is that?" But I have no idea what that guy's talking about.
Neal, appreciate the time, man. Congratulations on all of the success that you had this weekend, and we all wish you here in Pittsburgh continued success moving forward.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me on.
Yeah, good luck too, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Neal. Neal Shipley, the low amateur at Augusta. Pretty cool.
Awesome. He's going to win one.
He's got a good head on his shoulders.
Very, very good.
Smart guy.
I'm going to say next 2 years.
I wanted to ask him if Tiger slipped him a phone number of a Perkins waitress, but I did not do that.
I'm glad you didn't.
Yeah. I really had to fight against myself and my inner urgent instinct.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
And so is Neal.
Great stuff from him, man.
Awesome.
I mean, there's a million different things we could ask him. We could get really into the weeds on the golf stuff, but I think people just wanted to get to know him.
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh Pirates season ticket holder.
He's ours.
Let's go. Neal Shipley, bring home a green jacket, and then come on with us and not the PM team.
Correct.